I thought there were some interesting quotes listening to Joel Wolf. Now, remember, Joel Wolf is part of the Wasserman Group, and Joel Wolf is the individual. He's the agent of Roki Sasaki. This is the guy that came out. What was it? Probably about 2 weeks ago, and was basically like, Roki Sasaki has not made a decision. I can't believe, all the equity that I've built, the trust that I've built, and you guys just think he's going to the Dodgers. That to me raised a lot of red flags. It's like, if this guy's got to go out of his way, one of two things are happening. Either the agent is trying to make sure that there wasn't a deal done behind the scenes, which could very well have been already done. And maybe that's not even to do with the Dodgers. That could be Shohei Ohtani. That could be Yamamoto. That can be having those conversations behind the scenes with Roki Sasaki. And it could be Shohei like, hey, I feel like, yeah, there's a good chance he's going to come join the Dodgers. Or it could mean Roki Sasaki is saying, I haven't made a decision yet. Why does everybody think I'm going to the Dodgers? Can you straighten this thing out? Whatever it was, to me, that raised red flags, thinking in my head, if this dude's going out of his way, if he's talking to reporters and everything else and trying to tell everybody it's not a done deal with the Dodgers, that made me lean a little bit more towards, okay, then I think he's going to be a Dodger. Here are some quotes that came out yesterday from Joel Wolf, the agent of Roki Sasaki. I thought were some interesting quotes. Here's one quote. Wolf said Sasaki could be attracted to a team with veteran Japanese players, but wouldn't necessarily need it to succeed. Okay. When I hear that, I say to myself, okay, well, then that's advantage San Diego, right? You got Yu Darvish. There's a lot of these articles that talk about how Yu Darvish is basically an icon to Roki Sasaki. Not just Roki Sasaki, I'm sure a lot of Japanese players. But that quote specifically could be attracted to a team with a veteran Japanese player, that I instantly get drawn there. Okay, could that also mean Shohei Ohtani? Maybe that means Shohei. Shohei's been in the league for 7 years now. He's considered a veteran. We'll see what happens. Here's another quote. Sasaki also has paid attention to how teams have done as far as overall success, both this year and years past. Okay, I'm going to read that, and I'm just going to assume that's advantage Dodgers. The Dodgers have been successful for the past 12, 13 years. The Dodgers, even with some of the postseason struggles that they had before this year, they're in the postseason every single year. That's kind of a guarantee and a lock that the Dodgers are in the postseason every single year. Okay, that sounds like that quote. That's advantage Dodgers. Okay, then you keep reading of some of the article or some of the quotes coming out from Joel Wolf. Here's another one. He may not want to go to a big market media. That's not a quote. That's him basically. His relationship with the media, I guess it sounds like in Japan, wasn't that great. He is more of kind of a quieter guy, a subtle guy. He's had real tragedy happen in his life, and that he does not want to be in the spotlight, and that a big market may not be attractive because LA or New York, obviously, those are the number one and number two markets. All right, advantage San Diego, or advantage, let's call it a smaller market team that's not those bigger markets. I kept reading into it. All right, agent that reps Roki Sasaki, Joel Wolf, also represents Yamamoto. Okay, advantage Dodgers, but also represents Yu Darvish. Okay, never mind. I mean, you can literally, whatever it is that you want to believe, you can believe when it comes to Roki Sasaki. But I think the one thing that is clear, it still does sound like the Padres and the Dodgers are the two teams that have a real shot of getting Roki Sasaki. There were some articles out there too. Maybe it's the New York Mets. Maybe now, things have kind of changed with them. They just signed Juan Soto. We know what Steve Cohen is doing. If you're not with the media of the New York Yankees, what does the media look like with the Mets? That's probably changing. I mean, the Mets right now, certainly there's a lot of attention on them. At the end of the day, it's a great conversation. It's a great storyline. We don't know where he's going. But I do think that there is so much conversation about Roki Sasaki. I love it. I think it's phenomenal. Now, I'm going to make a case here. Now, I know there's going to be some people here on this chat that won't like this case, but that's okay. What do we talk about when we talk about sports? What do we talk about? Everything's about entertainment. Okay. I'm obviously I'm going to be shifted a little bit on my conversation here, but I have a genuine case that I think is good for baseball. Roki Sasaki should sign with the San Diego Padres. I'll make my case why. If we're talking just entertainment perspective, the best rivalry right now in baseball is the Padres and the Dodgers, period. There's no argument here. There's no argument. The way baseball treated those two franchises, the way last year baseball started in Korea was the Padres and the Dodgers. Every time those two teams faced each other, it was must-watch baseball. And then wouldn't you know, in the first round of the playoffs, after the wild card, it's Padres and the Dodgers, and it goes 5 games. Guys, I'll be the first one to tell you, and I've told you this before. The Padres choked in the playoffs. I thought the Padres woke up the Dodgers, and the Dodgers took their game to another level because the Padres thought when it was 2-1, they thought the series was over. Well, it's 1-3. It's not 1-2. But there was real entertainment in those two franchises going up against each other. There was real entertainment in Manny Machado and Jurickson Profar. There was real entertainment in Will Smith chirping with Profar earlier in the season, or maybe that was last year. I can't remember. There was real entertainment in Dave Roberts kind of running his mouth too about feeling like there was some disrespect from the pod. At the end of the day, your play does the talking. The Dodgers won with their play. The Padres didn't, and they were just kind of left there sitting. Was that the best opportunity we had to make to a World Series? Maybe it was, maybe it wasn't. I have no idea. But from an entertainment perspective, those two squads were phenomenal. Let me play out a scenario for you. Let's say Roki Sasaki decides, I'm going to go be a San Diego Padre. You don't think that's entertaining? You don't think that's good for baseball? The Dodgers already have 39 pitchers coming up next year. He's a necessity. He's not a luxury. He may very well sign with the Dodgers, and this isn't even a conversation. But from an entertainment perspective, what makes things entertaining is I don't know who's going to win that series. I'm going to give you guys an NBA comp. When the Miami Heat had the Heatles, and it was Chris Bosh, Dwayne Wade, and LeBron James, do you know what made those finals interesting? What made them interesting was, okay, yeah, they got those 3 players, but they still lost in the NBA Finals twice out of 4 times. Dallas got one, San Antonio got one. I think if this Dodgers-Padres rivalry is going to go to another level, and maybe there are Dodger fans that don't think it's a rivalry, but I like my conversations that I've had with guys like Doug McCain, guys that I've had with Matt Moreno, guys that actually cover the Dodgers and every single day are covering that team, and they will tell me this is a rivalry. This is a good rivalry. Dylan Hernandez joined, writer for the LA Times, joined the John Quintero show. It was last week. I helped run John Quintero's podcast, one of the OGs in sports talk radio. And Dylan was saying that one of the things that's so interesting about this scenario is Roki Sasaki want to join Yamamoto and join Shohei Ohtani, or does he want to beat him? Does he want to create his own legacy? Supposedly Roki Sasaki could, we'll see where this pitcher eventually goes, what ends up happening. What better storyline for him to say, I get it that that's the Dodgers. I get it that that's the Goliath. I get it that they have, that the organization is ran well and they have a lot of advantages just because of their TV deal, whatever the case is. That's a good business over there in LA. But I'd rather go up against them than join them. I'd rather create my own identity down here in San Diego. Can you imagine when the season starts and it's the San Diego Padres going up against the Los Angeles Dodgers? Can you imagine what that looks like when you have Roki Sasaki going up against Yoshinobu Yamamoto? You're going to tell me that's not good entertainment? You're going to tell me that all of Major League Baseball is not saying, hey, that's an interesting matchup that's going on right there. And then you could start putting in here's Manny Machado, here's Fernando Tatis Jr., the Dodgers I don't even need to mention, Freddie Freeman, Mookie Betts, Shohei Ohtani, go down the list of all the great players that they have. Hell, maybe it's Roki Sasaki versus Shohei Ohtani in a pitching duel. The point that I'm trying to make is, for entertainment purposes, you cannot tell me that Roki Sasaki, if it's signed with the San Diego Padres, that's not an interesting storyline. I 100% think it is. And I'm also speaking as a Padre fan that wants to speak it into existence. If you still told me today what I think is going to happen, I still think that the only story is Roki doesn't sign with the Dodgers. If he signs with the Dodgers, I don't think it's a story because from the beginning, I've said this. I still think he probably still goes with the LA Dodgers for all the different reasons that we're talking about. But maybe this is a different character. Maybe this is a different dude. Maybe this is a guy that says, no, I don't need to play with them. Maybe his relationship with you, Darvish, is strong enough. I don't know, but that's my case from an entertainment perspective. Let's see what some of the comments are here. All right, here we go. Tone, Sliwa, stop with the Padres talk. By the way, does that mean you have something against mothers? I don't understand that. I don't understand that the thing. And by the way, that's not going to stop because this is definitely a conversation that I think is an interesting one. And if I think it's an interesting one, I'm going to have the conversation. So I apologize, but I don't apologize. All right, let's see what we got here. Sliwa, I predicted Sasaki to Padres weeks ago. It's going down, brother. I don't know. Listen, I'm going to go back to what I just said. Is he probably more likely to go to the Los Angeles Dodgers? Probably. But let's see what happens. And if he does, then all it basically means is the Dodgers are continuing to build what's really going to be a dynasty. Listen, if Roki Sasaki goes to the Dodgers, now you're talking about is that squad. Now you're basically talking about is that team in the next 5 years, are they winning 2 more World Series? That's going to be the expectation. That's literally what you're talking about because it's not like all of a sudden they're going to start spending less money or anything like that. Let's see some more here. Tell him, Slee. Can I tell you something? I love these guys. When people disagree with me, I'm 100% okay with it. As long as we're just having a normal conversation about it. Tone, I'm going to give you an example. You'd had the comment as Padres suck or whatever the case. If you came back on and just made a case and said, Al, here's why I don't think he's going to go to the Padres. I don't think he's going to go to the Padres because he's only going to make $5 or $6 million. The Dodgers can give him endorsement money. It's going to be a business decision. It makes sense. He can go be, a legend with Yamamoto and Shohei Ohtani. Make those cases so we can have a good dialogue back and forth. Not your team sucks. I can't do anything with that. All right, let's get some more here. My favorite question so far. All right, here's another one here. Sasaki is leaving hundreds of millions on the table to post early because he wants to play in MLB with the best and win. That isn't happening with the Padres. Now, that is a good conversation. I can do something with that comment right there. Hey, you might be right, but can I tell you this? Shohei did the same thing 7 years ago. Shohei could have gone to the Dodgers. Shohei could have gone to a lot of different teams. He chose the Angels, and I can't tell you why. I really can't. And I'm not sure if he could do it all over again, he would do the same thing. I don't know. I know why he left the Angels. They can't win. So where did he go? He went to the Dodgers and got a World Series in his first year. So you could be 100% right on that. Let's see what else we got here. Somebody asked, I think, a very interesting question. Let me see if I could find her here. This is a good question. Who is Roki Sasaki? Can the Lakers get him? That's what I'm getting to. How else are the Lakers going to make the playoffs and be a top 6 seed without Roki Sasaki? You guys knew exactly where I was going. All right, let's see what else we have here. It's a good point, too. Dodgers didn't have the DH at the time. You're right. That was not a part of the NL yet, so you're 100% right on that. Okay, so let me keep moving here. I'll get to some of your comments, but I thought yesterday that was impossible to start this show without talking about Roki Sasaki, especially with all the ties that we've talked about.